people? Welcome back to London Boy Podcast. It's your boy Vincenzo, your host, back again with Joaquim. Joaquim, how's it going, my friend?
Yeah, it's going well. It's good to be back on the show again.
Yeah, man, you excited about today's topic?
Yeah, it should be an interesting conversation, isn't it? It's
Man.
good to talk about these things once in a while.
I feel like
ways in society.
Yeah, man, I feel like these things are not talked about enough.
Yeah.
So
do you want to introduce the topic then?
Yeah, let's go, man. So the topic is the reality of being a man in today's society. And the reason why I chose this topic is because I just feel like in the last 20, 30 years, there's been such a shift in sort of cultural expectations and such a shift in adults and manhood in general. Yeah. Where I feel like back then, even up to 20 years ago, 20, 30 years ago, it was much easier. You just come out of school, you get any sort of job, you save. It's easier to buy a house. It's easier to find a woman. You're not competing with fucking Joe Schmo from fucking Australia. You're not.
Yeah, the social media has really changed the game, isn't it?
Yeah, and you're not competing with 100 other people sliding into a DMs. No, like it was just a small town. People had their own conversations. They knew each other face to face, and that's what it was, you know.
Yeah, pretty much. And yeah, even with the work regards, like back then, getting a job was a lot more easier.
It was a lot more easier.
International competition and things like that. And plus, like, wages haven't really gone up so really from back in the day.
No.
But house prices has, which makes it difficult to get on the property ladder as well.
Not just house prices, it's cost of living as well. So we're sort of clawing our way just to compete with everything in general, man. Whether it be fucking social circles, whether it be fucking jobs and money, whether it be women, we're just constantly competing, and it's an unfair game. Like the odds are stacked against us, you know. So
pretty much.
So hopefully this podcast will help people sort of wake up and sort of realize the direction they should really be going for.
Yeah.
So without further ado, the first subtopic I want to talk about is work and money. Because I feel like in general, a man's purpose in life is his work, right?
Yeah.
Because
it's his duty to provide, isn't it?
It's his duty to provide for his family. Back in the day, you know, even you're going back hundreds of years ago, the men used to go out and hunt, you know, and then they used to provide for their women. They used to provide for their children. And even 20, 30 years ago, like if you was a man, let's bring it back to World War II generation. If you was a man back then, 40, 50 years ago, and you were just bumming around at home and you had a wife and a kid at home, what are your peers gonna say about you? You know, you're gonna they're gonna call you a bum. You know what I mean? You're not gonna be a real man.
Yeah, pretty much. I think. Would you say the same applies today as well?
Today, I feel like it doesn't really apply that much in terms of men get. Obviously, it applies in terms of the man needs money to survive in the world, to get power. But it doesn't apply in the sense of mentally. There's not enough go-getters, man. There's too many snowflakes, too many bums, people that want to live life on easy mode, and then they complain why their life is shit, you know?
Yeah, pretty much, isn't it? That's the thing, man. Hard work is key, isn't it?
Yeah.
No matter what the time is, isn't it?
No matter what the time is. And we got to realise as well that because we're living in different times, we're competing with so many people from abroad coming and, you know, competing for you with jobs. We're competing with other men. We're competing with other women as well.
And not only that, there's the generational gap as well. People who were born before us, people who are going to be born after us.
Yeah,
Like the job market, when you look about it, there's people going from their early 20s like us to the late 60s, isn't it? Everyone's competing, isn't it?
Yeah, man. And what scares me is that if I don't get my shit together now, which I'm doing my best to get my shit together in general and grind, imagine 10, 20 years from now, there's some kid that's fucking 8 years younger than you earning more money than you. That thought fucking scares me, bruv. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty much, isn't it? After all the grind and graft that you do, and you just find some kid is just earning more than you, isn't it? Just start destroy the job market. On his first day.
Yeah, and on top of like the job market is overly competitive. Like our money is worth less these days with inflation. You know.
Yeah.
So that's why you got to make every single minute, second, and millisecond count when it comes to grinding and working and saving. You know, you can't afford to waste time and waste money. You know.
Yeah, pretty much. Definitely agree with you there.
And obviously with the working world, you're gonna face a lot of bullshit. Like, I imagine when I come out of uni with a law degree back in 2019, and then
Yeah.
my first job was like a manual labor job in a shipping company, bro. But I couldn't complain, bro. I had to stay resilient and deal with the bullshit and just fucking get on with it. And
Yeah.
you know,
Because the thing is, there's no room to complain, isn't it? Because
yeah,
at the end of the day, you need money to get by in the world.
yeah.
You can't just sit there waiting for the perfect opportunity to come across, isn't it? You have to do something before the time comes, isn't it?
Yeah, like at the end of the day, like we're all living on borrowed time. So instead of
Yeah.
complaining like a fucking little snowflake, fucking you just work your manual labor job until you get the job that you want to get or until you get the money that you want to get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there are a lot of stories like that as well, isn't it? Like people who go to university, get their like engineering degree, then
Yeah.
they try to go get a job in that market. They
Mm.
can't find a job, and then they end up bumming around at home till they get the opportunity at their doorstep, isn't it?
Yeah,
The
man.
thing is, people fail to understand is that you're not going to be handed opportunity all the time on your doorstep, isn't it?
Bro,
You have to work your way towards it.
bro,
Because there's
opportunities don't come
competition.
easy.
Yeah, because it's a competitive world out there. You're not the only man. There's other men as well, like trying to graft and make more money as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and yeah, so even if you have to do a manual labor thing to begin with, and even after the manual labor thing, like the industry I'm in now, I've been here for over 2 years now, but I started at the very bottom, bruv. And a
Yeah.
lot of people, they won't start at the bottom. Like there's a famous quote, a line here from rapper Skepta. He says like, these people, they ain't got GCSEs, but they don't want to work for a minimum wage.
Yeah, pretty
It,
much. Isn't it? They want to be the manager straight away
they want
without
to,
any experience or anything like that.
but nah,
So
bro.
yeah,
As much as shit as the circumstances might be, you gotta stay mentally strong and resilient, and just fucking have persistence all through it until you get to where you want to get. You know.
yeah, and you should always keep in mind as well that every experience is important. Even if it's a job in McDonald's,
Yeah.
you're gonna learn some valuable skills there, isn't it? To work at fast pace, being under pressure, and it's gonna hone your skills and capabilities as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, no experience is wasted. So make the most of it.
And
Then eventually, as long as you keep on chasing for it, your opportunity will come.
yeah, and people
Yeah, you
say
just gotta
like,
be resilient, isn't it?
so people might ask like, what point are you trying to make by talking about working as a man? The point I'm trying to make is that, like, if you're a man, no one's coming to fucking save you. Like, you can't. The chances of you marrying a rich Dubai Saudi princess who's gonna take care of you are very, very slim.
Yeah, there's no golden bullet or golden ticket for you.
Well, there's no.
So then, at the end of the day, you have to make it in life with your own two hands.
Yeah,
Unless you're from like a wealthy family. If you're not, you basically have to
but even
be
if
in a
you're from a
graft.
wealthy family, yeah, at the end of the day, like when touch wood, yeah, whatever, like, when it's just you and your parents are not here no more, if you haven't got the worth of it, you're gonna squander with that wealth, bro.
Yeah, that's true as well. That's an important element to keep in mind. Because the thing
Yeah,
is, you need a certain level of capability to keep that wealth going, isn't it?
100%, man.
Because yeah, your parents might build up that wealth, or your family might build up the wealth, but if you can't grow it and you're only using it, then there's no future left, is there?
Yeah, like don't be a
You're
consumer.
eventually gonna run out.
Yeah, you don't be a consumer, you be a producer, and that's something
Yeah,
that I learned within the last 3-4 years of working, man.
yeah, and that's the thing. That's why a strong mentality is important as well. Because yeah, you might say, "Oh, I've got so much wealth now that my parents have got," but if you end up buying a Lamborghini with that, then you can't afford to pay the bills anymore.
That's
What's
it, man.
next then? You
What's
just
next?
squandered everything. Going
Yeah,
to sell your Lamborghini, you probably get half the money back.
yeah. So
You just wasted half your wealth right there, isn't it?
yeah, so
So like you need to you need to have that critical thinking in
mhm.
mind, isn't it, when you're making decisions?
Critical thinking, and with especially with working, like as much as I want to say like men, guys, get your shit together, stop being a snowflake. I feel like a lot of guys priorities are upside down, inside out. Like if
Yeah,
you're fucking broke, yeah, and your life is shit, the last thing you want to do is be chasing women, bro.
Yeah, pretty much, isn't it? I wouldn't recommend that to anyone.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
thing is, you would say, "Oh, I need a woman in my life," but the thing is, if you go chasing after her, and if you do manage to get her,
mm,
you ain't gonna be keeping her around for too long because she's gonna find out that you're broke,
yeah,
like you don't have what it takes to keep her around, and then
yeah.
she's gonna leave you, and you're just gonna be depressed again.
Yeah, so
So
before you want to do that sort of stuff, like get your shit together, get your ducks in a row, have a bit of savings behind you to the point where you're comfortable, and then you can afford to chase women. But like, I'm the only reason I'm saying this is not to judge on other people from experience. Like, I was at uni, fucking 19 years old, living on
yeah,
student loan, going out clubbing every weekend, trying to keep up with people that were already working, and I used to feel depressed. And I used to think to myself, why do I feel like that? And it turns out because I didn't have my shit together, bro.
yeah, yeah. That's true, isn't it? So
Yeah,
yeah, it's important to have everything organized, isn't it? Like at the end of the day, like you need to plan your life out, isn't it? Like
yeah.
how are things going to work out for you today, tomorrow, 10 years time, 20 years time?
Mm,
Like like you need to really think things through, isn't it?
that's
Like
it,
you
man.
have that long term planning in the back of your mind.
Have long term planning, and you gotta be grounded with reality, man. Stop living in
Yeah,
a
pretty
fairy
much.
tale, bruv. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
And so that leads me on to the next sort of topic here. There's a big sort of identity crisis slash lack of direction for most men,
Yeah,
and by that I mean by like there's people, men in general, they don't know who they are. There's too many distractions. They don't have any priorities. You know.
yeah, that's true. I think especially social media tends to play a big part in that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like when people go scrolling down Instagram and they see, oh, this guy has a Lamborghini, oh, this guy has a Harley Davidson bike,
Harley
oh, this guy's
Davidson.
going, yeah, this guy is going on holiday here, a ski trip over there. It makes you question you what you're doing with your life, isn't it?
Yeah,
And you just feel depressed. But if you take out that out of the equation, like you would have been happy if you never knew all the information, isn't it?
exactly, man. And basically, the point I want to make is that all of these things, yeah, the media, social media in general, like we had this conversation before we recorded, yeah, it's
Yeah,
all a frequency, right?
yeah,
You know, like I
pretty
said, like your
much.
brain is an antenna. Like the media, like the news or social media, they put out a frequency that you digest, and it's there to castrate and fucking make men feel like shit, man. I'm telling you,
Pretty much. It's there to demotivate you, isn't it?
demotivate you
Like,
and all that sort
yeah,
of stuff, bro.
they don't want you to achieve your true potential, isn't it? Because the minute you start working towards your full potential, like if everyone starts doing that, the world would be a different place right now.
Bro, imagine, yeah, like speaking for myself, like in 2020 I bought a PS5, right?
Yeah,
But I've barely played it because A, I'm busy, and B, I know that if I get addicted to that shit, it's gonna fuck up other aspects of my life that I'm trying to work on, you know?
yeah. That's why I've been cutting back, cutting down on my gaming time as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like you only have a limited amount of time, so you have to use that productively, isn't it?
Yeah, so like I feel like the things that are really destroying men out there are obviously social media, the media in
Uh,
general, gaming,
yeah,
and pornography as
addiction.
well, bro. Addiction,
Yeah,
pornography.
in the end, like the common theme is addiction, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And bad habits. Like you need to start stemming those things out of your life if you want to move. Like yeah, like the things you want to be being addicted to are like going to the gym and things like that. Something positive.
Things that are gonna add to your
But
life, not subtract, you know.
life, yeah. So they don't. Those things that don't shouldn't be a detriment to you, isn't it?
That's it. And
Yeah.
and the reason why I say that these things are a detriment to you is that you remember the term I used, yeah, like it's almost like these things are there to castrate men, you know.
Yeah, pretty much. But the thing is, like, there's only like, what I want to say is like, yeah, all these gaming, social media, that's things are more advertised than like asking men to go to the gym and things like that.
Yeah,
That's like a very small area that people vocalize, isn't it?
it's almost
The thing
like
is that because the thing is when men start going to the gym, they feel motivated, they gain self confidence, they gain self esteem and things like that, and it's more positive that way.
and
That's why those things are not as much advertised as like going to gaming, going on holidays, and things like that, isn't it?
yeah, and like I always say, the stuff that is advertised on top of the distractions are the top of the mountain, the tip of the iceberg, what success looks like. But the hard work, the grind that goes into it, the constant hours of boredom, banging something out until you get it right, that's not advertised, man.
That's never advertised. They only advertise the shiny parts, isn't it?
The shiny parts, bro.
No, not the hard work that goes into like polishing it, isn't it? Make you like what really makes you shine, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. They only show you the end result. They don't show you the journey that you have to go through to get to that point, isn't it?
Yeah, and a lot of this identity crisis, it leads back to the other podcast. What does success really mean? Like how you living in the ghetto, but you want to drive a Lamborghini. Like, because you see
that doesn't make sense.
Because you see some fucking guy on Instagram, oh, I traded, I pressed the button on my phone, now I have a supercar. Nah, that's all bullshit, bro.
Like, if life was that easy, everyone would be driving a Lamborghini.
Yeah, man.
Or any other supercar, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's not that easy. Like a Lamborghini could get, you can trade a Lamborghini for a house and everyone would have paid their mortgage off by now, isn't it?
That's bro.
That's not how economics works, isn't it?
It's not how economics works.
In order for rich people to enjoy their lifestyle, they need people to be poor as well.
They need people to be poor by spending money on bullshit, yeah.
Yeah, so the question is, like, where do you want to be on the hierarchy? Do you want to be at the bottom, or do you want to start climbing up to the top?
You want to climb to the top, and
yeah, and that's what we want to focus on, like getting you to motivate yourself to start climbing at the top, isn't it?
Bro, and also these podcasts, as much as like people have come, as small as my channel is, as much as people have come up to me in the street and said, "Oh, I listened to your show, it helped me out." I get all these messages, bro. I'm doing it for myself, bro, to listen back to and motivate myself, bro.
Self as well, isn't it? Because we're in the journey as well. Like, we haven't made it to the top yet, but we're sharing some of our opinion on what we're doing and how we're going to make our way to the top as well.
Yeah.
Because if we're already at the top, we'll only be talking about the shiny stuff. We wouldn't be talking about all the hard work that goes into it.
Yeah, that's it, man. And why I say, like, a lot of these distractions, like social media, gaming, pornography, party culture and all that, why it castrates men is, it's to stop people from becoming successful. Because if there was too many people, if there's too many successful people, too many successful men, the economy will shift,
Yeah, pretty much. It'll be a different world, isn't it?
It'll be a different world.
It'd be hard to imagine, but it'll definitely be a different world.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, self-restraint and, willpower comes into mind, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because there's so many distractions in the society, you need to have the willpower to push on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Think of like social media and all these other addictions that's changed binding you to the ground, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
You need to start ripping them off slowly, and you need willpower to do that.
It's like, obviously, I've always taken social media breaks. Now I use social media as a tool, exactly, to advertise my shit,
Yeah, it's meant to be used for marketing. It's not meant to be used for superficial things like showing how many cars you have and stuff like that.
That's it.
The point of social media is for it to be a tool for you to advertise things. To build your influence.
Because
that's what it is.
The reason social media was built in the first place was for two reasons. The first one, to be in contact with people, business that lives abroad, people that live abroad, and the second one is as an advertising tool.
Yeah. And then another sort of use for it is to influence people. Like you mentioned, like
advertisement.
Social media is like how people like internet and social media sort of programs them.
Yeah.
That's how rich people use it as well.
Yeah.
To sort of change the way people think.
Yeah.
And you need to start thinking for yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, and before we
start improving yourself, not just listening to like horrible news that's coming in day in day out and just turning demotivated and just thinking badly, isn't it?
Exactly,
and just start thinking positively and motivate yourself.
And think for yourself as well.
Yeah.
Start thinking for yourself. And the big effects of these sort of distractions are that there's a lot of men these days walking around with low confidence, low self-esteem, and if it's not people walking around with low confidence, there's the other side effect where there's kids walking around thinking that they're hood rats because of the conditioning of the music and the film industry as well. It's an overall negative effect, man.
Yeah, I remember. I think when we went to Selfridges, isn't it? You never would have ever imagined that Selfridges would play that type of
Bro, there
music,
was a
isn't
whole section in Selfridges dedicated to hood rats playing that drill, that drill shit, bro.
it? Drill music, which I would have never imagined that in Selfridges. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's the time we are living in right now, isn't it?
yeah, and yeah, this identity thing. I want it goes deeper than just consuming media. Like I said about the antenna thing. Like the reason advertisement works so well and there's $1 billion industries because of advertising is because it gets into your brain and it programs the way you think.
Think and not only how you think, how you spend your money, and what
Yeah,
you do with your time, which is the two most important thing.
it's like
Your resources and your time, isn't it?
it's like a
You don't use that time to improve yourself. You just using that time to make someone else more money.
yeah,
That's all
man.
it
It's
is.
like the computer has a software, yeah, and then every bit of information you're consuming, you're adding to that software.
Yeah.
And people are consuming a load of fucking bad softwares and viruses and shit. You know.
Yeah, pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah, man. And then also like how it works is that you consume information, it affects your mindset, and then the mindset affects
It's basically like a malware or virus, isn't it?
yeah, and then the
It
malware.
stops you from functioning
Yeah,
properly.
exactly. And on top of that, the malware virus affects your mindset, and then your mindset affects what you put out into the world. Like,
Well, yeah, and your performance goes down as well, isn't it? You're
yeah,
not running as fast as you used to, isn't it?
that's it,
So
man.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you're not performing, you're not going towards where you're supposed to be heading towards.
Oh,
You're just gonna get lost and depressed. So
yeah,
yeah,
man. So with this
need to.
identity thing, I always tell people like, be proud of who you are. If you're from a fucking certain country, be proud of your fucking culture. Stop trying to fit in. Walk around with your head high and have confidence in believe in yourself, man. People don't believe in themselves, bro.
Yeah, and stop conforming to other
Stop
people's
conforming.
ideology.
Yeah, bro. It's
Like, just because someone speaks, I mean, I noticed this at my workplace. Just because someone speaks in a fancy way doesn't mean you have to copy them, isn't it? You're
yeah,
your own person. Just be
yeah.
yourself, isn't it?
I know, and funny thing is, yeah, I used to fall for that sort of trick, yeah, and to
Yeah,
to the point where like I felt uncomfortable starting a channel and putting out this sort of content, but then I had a burning desire deep inside me for saying, nah, like people are doing it, people are getting a good reception, like why aren't you doing it? This is something you always want to do. And
yeah,
what held me back was that identity crisis, caring what people think about you.
yeah. Well, what your work people will think about you, what your friends are going to think
Yeah,
about you.
man.
Like, you need to, like, how, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you need to have that mental strength to sort of walk past that sort of things, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's it, bro. That's it. And that even like with this show, like I have certain people that they don't want to come on because they're terrified of what people are gonna think about them, man.
Yeah, that's a sign, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like, yeah, that you don't have enough self-esteem, isn't it? To put yourself out there or to challenge yourself as well, isn't it?
yeah,
To
man.
change people's perception about you, or
Exactly.
you just end up falling for the image or identity that other people want you to have, isn't it?
Yeah. So
Like, you need to have the strength to break off that.
so
So
ba-
that's why you need mental, like, willpower, for,
yeah.
isn't
So
it?
basically, with this identity crisis thing, the main point I'm trying to make is that as a man, like you want to put your mark into the world, right? You want to before we leave this earth, we change it in some way, even if it's 0.1%. But how are you gonna
Yeah,
do it if you're in a mental fucking bondage, mental prison? You
yeah,
can't. You can't live.
yeah.
You live life as like the Matrix sort of thing. You don't live life in your own means.
Yeah, you don't live life on your own terms.
In
You
your own
only live
terms
life to please other people,
to
isn't
please
it?
other people, bruv.
Yeah, so you need to you need to break off that mold and start looking at, like, start living how you want to live, isn't it?
Living how you want to
Like,
live, and
living how, acting like how you want to really act, like, not acting like just because you have to act that way, isn't it? To
yeah,
impress other people.
because like what's gonna happen is that you're gonna, bruv, like your life is gonna flash in front of you, and you're gonna think, shit, I wish I would have lived true to myself, man.
Yeah, pretty much, rather than just conforming to other people and just acting the way they want me to act, isn't it?
Bro, like you know what happened to me, bro. I was in a car accident. I nearly got killed by some fucking idiot, yeah. And
Yeah,
and my life flashed before my eyes. And then since that day, I always thought to myself, like after not just that day, after a series of events, just feeling low about myself, I just thought to myself, from now on, yeah, I'm gonna live true to myself, bruv.
Yeah, yeah. If someone doesn't treat you with respect, don't just bow down to them and beg for their approval. Just
Nah, bruv.
walk away from it, isn't it?
Yeah, man. If people don't respect you, fuck them. Like, fucking carry on with yourself, man. Hold yourself in high
Yeah,
regard. Have
yeah.
respect. Like, people idol worship celebrities. Why don't you worship your own self, man?
Self, pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just having that little bit of respect for yourself, isn't it?
Yeah. Have some.
And not being afraid of it.
Yeah.
Not being afraid to walk out of things from or away from people who disrespect you.
The next subtopic I'd like to speak about is the topic of women and dating. Because I feel like that's very important, because if you want to live, a functional life, have a functional family, and build a functional, successful, progressive society, women and men have to get along, right?
Yeah, pretty much, isn't it? Or else humanity would exist.
Or else humanity wouldn't exist. You wouldn't be able to reproduce. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just want to start off in saying that I feel like the dynamic between men and women has gone downhill over the last few years.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the funny thing is, yeah, statistics show for themselves that, that apparently, according to Elon Musk, yeah, in terms of world sort of fertility and production, basically less babies are being born each year.
Yeah,
Like that.
yeah, I remember those statistics.
Yeah.
Like, especially in modern society, places like Japan and things like that, fertility rate is so low.
It's so
that
low.
They have to give out money to get people pregnant, isn't it?
Yeah, like the birth rate is going down pretty much.
Yeah.
And so I can't really explain why, but I'm just going to give my opinion, right?
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious the reason why that is because of the society we live in.
The society we live in, yeah, it's fucked.
Yeah, because not only have working hours turned longer,
yeah,
it's women have started working as well. So basically, there's no time to interact, isn't it? Have social interaction.
Yeah, and on top of there's no time, I feel like there's a social imbalance.
Yeah, the social dynamics have changed.
Social dynamics have changed. Like I said before, in the job work part,
they're taking it to a personal level. Women, yeah, they have their careers, they're successful and things like that.
Yeah, which is all well and good. It's all well and good.
Yeah, well and good. But when they look back at their time and they see that they didn't have any chance to go out with men and things like that, and they're like in their 30s and 40s, and they don't have a kid, and they can't be fertile anymore like they used to.
Yeah.
And they're all alone, isn't it? And they end up buying cats and stuff like that.
Yeah, end up alone with 10 cats, but you could say, oh yeah, but I went on holidays on my own.
But that's the thing, isn't it? Imagine when you turn 90 years old. I remember the story, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're 90 years old, and there's a woman who doesn't have a glorious career. She was just like a normal woman.
Yeah.
Went to the supermarket, did the shopping. Didn't have a big paying job or anything like that.
I took care of the kids and stuff.
Yeah, took care of the kids. At the end of the day, she was surrounded by family, isn't it? When she's 90 years old.
Yeah.
Look on the other side of her career, a woman who had a high-end financial career, earned the 100K salary and whatnot, ended up reaching in the 80s. And when she looked around her house, yeah, she lived in a big house compared to the other woman.
Yeah.
But there was no one there for her.
Yeah.
She's all alone.
And the funny thing is, the 90-year-old woman, when she was surrounded by her grandkids and children,
yeah,
like the fucking grandkids and children, there wasn't a novelty over what job did you do to get here. There was a fucking novelty over, oh wow, look what you did. Look how big your family is. Look how, that's your legacy right there.
Those people in the room know that the reason why they're standing there is because of this woman.
Because of this woman, yeah.
Made who they are as a person.
Yeah.
I think that's a more noble thing than having a career and making someone else rich.
Yeah, so on top of this whole sort of competitiveness with career and independentness and all that shit, there's other factors that make things a lot worse. And the side effects of this is men facing a lot more rejection, and there's a lot more high expectations. But the thing is, I'm not going to blame the woman. I'm going to put a lot of responsibility on the men as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and the reason why I'm blaming a lot of responsibility on the men is because there's too many fucking men walking around with no self-respect.
Pretty much, and that's when the Sims comes into
That's
play,
where the
isn't
simps come into play.
it? People coming in there saying, "Oh, you look lovely. If you go out with me, I'll give you £200 allowance," and things like that.
Yeah, like
And
there's
that's our behaviour is what makes women entitled.
yeah, there's sort of men literally they think it's like it's almost like objectifying. They're sort of coming along, they're flashing money and shiny objects, saying, "Oh look, oh
Yeah,
pick me," you
yeah.
know?
Here's my bank account. Look how much money I got. 6 figures in my bank account. And there's
Yeah,
another guy saying, "Oh yeah, you look at my 21 plate car. Come
yeah,
and ride with me." Oh, someone else saying, "Oh, look at my boat. Come and go. Let's go to the sea with together." It's
yeah,
like yes, and it's just like people like that. It makes society,
yeah.
just go downhill, isn't it?
And it's gotten to the point where like men these days are so bloody thirsty, right? That
Yeah,
they'll drop everything they're doing. They'll fucking do come out of work. They'll drop their business. They'll leave their family if their family needs them. They'll
yeah.
leave at the drop of a hat if a woman calls them, and there's that 5%, not even 5%, that 2% chance they might fucking sleep with them.
Yeah, and that's the problem, isn't it? It's that's our behavior that makes women entitled.
Yeah, with this desperate simp behavior, bro, it makes me sick, bro.
Yeah, so you can't
Yeah.
really blame women when they act like that, isn't it?
No, I blame the men, bro. I
Because they
blame
have
the
so
men.
much choice. Like
Yeah,
there's all these men throwing money and attention at them. Then they have to be picky about who they choose, isn't it?
bro. Look at this,
So you can't
bro.
blame them when they come and reject you.
Bro, there's men fucking paying for OnlyFans, bro. There's
Yeah,
fucking
I mean, you don't see like OnlyFans for men, isn't it? You don't see women paying money to see men.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's always the other way around.
yeah,
The reason is because just men are just a bit too thirsty, isn't it?
and
They
no,
have no self control. That's the
no,
thing.
no self control, no self
They lack
respect.
the mental power, or they don't have the willpower to restrain
They don't
themselves.
have the willpower to restrain themselves, and like OnlyFans aside, yeah, just like basically, let's just define a simp. Yeah, a simp is someone that goes above and beyond to try and impress a woman, where there's like an unfair exchange of value.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a one way street.
It's a one way street. Yeah,
The woman has too little no respect for you, and it's just you showering her with money, attention, and whatever you have, isn't it?
yeah,
And,
shout.
there's very little sort of respect that she sort of barely recognizes it, isn't it?
Yeah.
She said, "Oh wow, thank you," and then just get on with the life. Isn't it?
Yeah, and then because the majority of men are doing that, simping, then women are gonna lose respect for men and think, wow, wow, all these men give me attention. Oh, look at all these Instagram likes. Look at all these men giving me allowances, throwing money at me. Oh, now, if someone's gonna date me, he has to be a top 3% man.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It saturates the market, isn't it?
Saturates the market. Yeah,
And then that's when the standards go up, isn't it? Just think of it as a housing sort of market, isn't it? Where when there are people throwing money around, like things are going to get expensive, isn't it? The women are going to start looking for higher standards.
yeah. There's
So
literally
that,
there's literally inflation in the dating market, bro.
yeah, pretty much. Well, yeah, it's just crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fucking crazy, bro. And the thing is, yeah, back in the day, like I said, 20, 30 years ago, it was easy.
Back in the day, the market was a lot more smaller. It was more close knitted, isn't it? No international competition.
Yeah,
No Jack or Bob from Scotland trying to get with their girl downtown here or anything
yeah,
like that.
and
It's like, yeah,
and back in the day, you could easily, if you worked on yourself and you got, physical power, financial power, status, you could afford to be the big fish in your small pond.
yeah,
Now you're a fucking a small fish in the North Atlantic Sea, bro.
yeah, pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's just crazy, isn't it?
yeah, and yeah, I just feel like with this dating thing, like I don't know, I feel like value needs to put men need to value themselves. It goes back to the
Yeah,
identity
I think
crisis thing.
that's the good point, isn't it? Men needs to value themselves, isn't it? And just have a little bit of self control.
Yeah,
Don't put women as your first
bro.
priority.
Like imagine, yeah, if the rest of the world, every man in the world woke up and said, "Today I'm gonna stop simping. I'm gonna have some
Yeah,
self respect and self restraint." Things will go
yeah.
back to normal, bro.
yeah, and things will go back to normal. A woman will act like a normal, a decent human being. They will be rejecting guys left and right because they don't have this excess attention. They don't have all this money being thrown at them or anything like that, isn't it?
Brother, if men said, yeah, I'm gonna fucking cut the direct debit to my OnlyFans subscription. I'm gonna uninstall Instagram and not uninstall. I'm gonna uninstall Tinder and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Bro, the dating market will be a much better place.
Yeah,
The world will be a much
would
better
be-
place.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's, in the end, it's all ideological, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like this is all the ideology that people have, and they can't change it.
Yeah.
But if every man managed to change that, like the world would change drastically. So.
Yeah, and because everything is all like fast paced, swipe a button on your phone, simping, Tinder, bro, it's hookup culture as well. So now you get, women, a lot of people in general have
when
high.
When it comes to hookup culture, it doesn't benefit anyone.
It doesn't benefit anyone.
Women.
Yeah.
Like, women go sleeping one man after the other, but at the end of the day, bro, they have to do the walk of shame, bro.
Yeah, walk of shame.
It's like that doesn't feel good, bro. I've already got man after man. Like you have lingering yourself. Regret, isn't it? Like going after one person after one person. So like, it leaves a bad taste and it affects you mentally as well.
Bro, and I know there's a lot of sort of Captain Saberhose, but like men, like ask yourself this question, right? When you 5 years from now, however many years from now, you choose to get married and walk your woman down the aisle, are you really gonna feel good about yourself knowing she slept with over 100 people?
No, man, that would have completely turned me off.
Yeah,
and I'm guessing that the same applies the opposite way.
The opposite way as well, like. People are just trained, and that's all lack of self-respect, bro. Like you're choosing to sleep with multiple people, man or woman. That's it. You got no self-respect, mate.
Respect, isn't it? Like if everyone had a little bit of self-respect and self-restraint, the world would be a better place.
Bro, what happened to like finding one partner, settling down with them, fucking getting married, having kids, going to church on Sunday, bro? That doesn't exist no more.
Pretty much, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, we don't expect you to like get the right person in your first go, but don't like go out clubbing and then just hook up with some random people and then just say, "Oh yeah, I was drunk." Like that's just being irresponsible, isn't it?
Yeah, just irresponsible, man. But and on top of this, with the whole dating thing, I feel like now as well, because of all that background noise, which I said about the expectations, the social media, the simps.
Yeah.
But from experience, I've witnessed a lot of women. They deliberately do or say shit to make men feel bad about themselves, make men feel like shit.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Not like women aren't saints, bro. Like some women can be evil, and some women out there as well. The power they have.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the dating culture, it's mainly men chasing women, isn't it?
That's it, man.
So they know that. Like they're not dumb. So they know that they have the power to hurt men as well, just by saying no, isn't it?
And like, you know how strong I am of like, I believe in energy, right? I believe like, if you walk into a room and the vibe's off, then if you feel like the vibe's off, the vibe's probably off,
Off, yeah, pretty much. It's like when you walk into a room and you know a fight is about to go down. That's the thing, isn't it? There's always an atmosphere. It's about to go down.
You know that example I used. I was talking about. I was telling you the other day, where when I was at uni, I was 19. I was broke, living on student loan. I used to go to a club, and then when I got rejected, and I felt fucking depressed, bro. I literally went home the same night. I spent about £150 from my student loan, and I just sat there in silence, and I thought, like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Because I went up to some girl and I got rejected, and I just thinking I'm doing all of this, and it's not productive. It's not
you're just putting out there for no reason.
Putting out the effort for no reason. And then now
that's the thing. Like when you think of it as you putting a product onto a market, isn't it?
Yeah.
You wouldn't put a product onto a market just for it to get shot down, isn't it?
Yeah.
You need to have it like all planned out.
Exactly, but the point I'm trying to make.
That's where the thing comes in, isn't it? Where you have to focus on yourself.
Yeah, but the thing is,
make sure you're ready to go on the market. So
that's all true. But the point I'm trying to make is that when I felt like shit, especially that one particular time, like the way I got rejected, just look, it's not what you say, it's the way you say it, sort of thing.
Yeah, with no respect or
With no
anything like that.
respect. It's like this particular girl, she done it to make me feel like shit, and
yeah,
then
and she probably done it intentionally as well.
intentionally
And
as well, so
for
that
her to have that effect,
to
isn't
have
it?
that ego booster and brag to her friends, oh, I shot down this guy, you know.
Yeah,
But
but
a few years later, now I'm obviously 19. Now I'm 25. Yeah, I've worked on myself and all. I've reached.
yeah,
I've gained a little more power. Yeah.
yeah,
I barely go clubbing, but when I did a month ago, recently, a girl, she tried the same sort of thing, the same sort of rejection, try and make me feel like shit.
yeah,
But because I'd done the work I worked on myself so much mentally, everything.
yeah.
I brushed it off and I laughed in her face, bro.
That's what mental strength and spiritual strength is
Yeah,
about, isn't it? You worked on yourself, and then when you face rejection like that, you can just laugh it off.
you can just laugh
Yep,
it
and
off.
there's plenty more fishes in the sea.
Yeah, man. It's like I remember,
If you don't like me, that's good. Only that's your loss.
bro. It's like
You'll
remember I
find someone
told
better
you,
as well.
bro. It's remember I
Yeah.
told you about over a year ago. Did I tell you about the girl from Birmingham, right? And then we went out in Camden, and it was like when you was allowed to go out, but you had to sit outside, sort of thing.
Oh yeah. That
Yeah.
rings a bell.
And you know what the
Yeah.
funny thing is, yeah? Like, she DM'd me because of my podcast, bro. Like,
Yeah.
which is
So what?
so basically like I told you that story, we went out. It's semi lockdown, places are fully booked and all that. And then it was a first date, and then we went to in Chinatown. We went to a Chinese restaurant,
Yeah.
and then I made sure that we split the bill. And then we went to Camden to like a cocktail bar, and
Yeah.
I just felt bad. I just got her a cocktail, innit?
Yeah.
And then she was giving me like looks, like dirty looks and shit, trying to make me feel bad and saying, "Oh, this is ridiculous. Oh, are you not embarrassed?" and all that, trying to make me feel like shit, yeah.
Yeah.
But I just laughed at her face, bro. I just said to her like, if you don't like it, you could go home, innit?
Pretty much, that's what I'm having self-respect, isn't it? In the end of the day, whether you feel sad or not, that's up to you, isn't it?
Yeah, but
That's
the
how
thing is,
you
yeah.
face the situation.
But I couldn't have
Because,
done.
if it was another random sim, he will probably start breaking down, isn't it? When he hear those comments.
Yeah,
No, if you have enough self-respect for yourself, you can just laugh at that
yeah,
and just move on.
but if it was 19-year-old me with low confidence, low self-esteem, I wouldn't have like I would have felt like shit, I would have been like shit.
Yeah.
What have I done wrong? Oh my god, it's always me. But nah, man, mental power, bro, mental power.
Yeah. Don't bend yourself over someone else, because in the end, like, dating is a two-way thing.
It's a
not
two-way
just men
street.
satisfying
Yeah,
women.
yeah.
The woman has to like play her part as well. It's like you can't just be us chasing you. Like in the end of the day, every woman need man to have a family, isn't it?
That's it, man. It's
So
a two-way
it's like,
street.
yeah, if she's not interested, don't waste our time, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah.
Tell her
And
don't
that's the
waste
thing.
my time.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's where the
Yeah.
inherent nature comes from, isn't it? It's because there's too many simps out there.
Too many
They
sibs.
start-
They got no
yeah, They start
self-respect.
having their mentality starts getting warped, isn't it?
Yeah,
So I don't blame them for having that mentality, because I guess it stems from some simps, isn't it?
and then simps stem from identity crisis. There's all that social
Yeah.
engineering, that happens.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
So yeah, if men sort of step up their game, they have a little bit of self-respect, the woman's mentality would start changing as well, and we wouldn't be having this many problems.
yeah, yeah. And what are the results of this long term? Like kids will grow up dysfunctional, bro.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, to have a happy family, like, at least someone has to stay at home.
Yeah.
Because of how society works now.
Or at least like a
both-
2-parent functional household, right?
Yeah, both parents are going out, they're working, kids there at home alone,
Yeah.
and he turns dysfunctional, then starts going on the streets, and then the next thing you know, it ends up in gangs and
Yeah.
with unwanted groups, and then crime
Bro,
starts to
bro,
happen.
you
isn't
think
it?
like all these kids,
Just look at London, how many stabbings.
bro,
are
all these
happening.
kids in
They
London.
all stem from dysfunctional families.
That's it, bro. All these kids doing the stabbing in London. Do you think they have functional families? Hell no, the complete opposite, bro. And a lot of them, there's a track record of like they've had social services come to their house because it's that bad,
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, or at least one parent needs to stay at home,
Yeah.
or else if family start to fall apart, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why. That's why the old sort of as the whole family structure
The
works, isn't it?
traditional
Man
family structure.
provides and the woman stays at home.
But
This
even if
thing
they
is like
both,
no one, because the way I see it, like there's no expectations like for women to have like a high flying career because at the end of the day,
yeah.
they have the most important job bringing new life into the
But
world.
even like,
I mean, no career is going to surpass that. To be
but at
honest,
the same time, yeah, with the ever growing inflation and cost of living, yeah,
yeah,
if a woman, yeah, a woman does need to work, right? In this day and age, let's say it's normality. But at the
yeah,
same time, don't be a victim of circumstance. Yeah, you have to work. So what? Be a mum as well.
yeah, pretty much as
Yeah,
well, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. You
Like,
have to work. Get along with your partner as well. Be respectful to each other, bro. Where has the respect gone?
yeah,
You
pretty
know.
much, isn't it? Yeah, that's true as well.
And then like you know
But
what,
yeah, I feel like society's to blame as well, isn't it?
society's to
'Cause
blame.
that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like, if everyone changed their mindset
Hmm.
and said like, "Oh yeah, women should have like a little bit more flexibility when it comes to like working and stuff like that,"
Yeah.
like yeah, let them have their bit of career, but you should also keep in mind they need to be a good mom to
But
like
I've got a feeling that
to raise up decent human beings for the
I feel
future.
back to what I was saying about like there's some women that they intentionally try and make men feel that shit, right?
Yeah,
That leads on to what I want to say about men's mental health, right?
yeah.
Because I honestly, from experience, like I honestly feel like no one gives a fuck about men's mental health, man.
No one, and there's a reason for that as well. For
Yeah,
example, say you work in a Starbucks, you think a woman is going to go up to a guy who works at Starbucks and ask him like
yeah,
out on a date? Probably not,
yeah.
because he's not a high value man, isn't he?
Mm.
So that's the problem, isn't it? If you're not a high value man, like women won't look at
By
you,
the
and
by
that's
the
when the
way,
mental problem
for
starts
the
coming
people
in.
that don't know, define high value man.
Oh yeah. So high value man is someone who's basically you're 6 foot tall, you have the money,
Six
you have the
figures,
influence. Yeah.
status.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, status, clout, everything, isn't it?
Mm.
That's the high value man. I guess after the whole population, probably the top 1% and the top 2% are going to be high value man.
But I think
When you look at social media, the men who are representative are the top 2%, isn't it?
yeah.
Your celebrities, your pop idols, influencers,
Mm.
your business owners who earn millions and billions of pounds.
Mhm.
Because when you look at Instagram and stuff, the type of guys women always talk about are those top 2%.
Yeah,
of
and
men.
think about it,
They
like
never talk about the average person, do they?
think about it. If there's billions of men in the world, right?
Yeah.
And then high value men, there's what? Maybe how many high value men in the world? What? Maybe 30
Between
million?
1 to 3%, I'll say.
So let's say 30 million out of billions of men, right?
Yeah,
There's 30 million men that have over six figures or earn over six figures, blah blah blah, millionaires, all
yeah,
that. Like
yeah,
if billions of men are being compared to 30 million, and it's such a, and they only want the top tier man, the Superman thing, like
yeah.
that means billions of men are gonna feel like shit and suffer mental health issues, bruv.
Yeah, pretty much. Because the thing is, at the end of the day, like, men need a woman, isn't it, to
Yeah.
soften them up? Because that's the thing, like, men don't have a woman to, like, soften them up. They go crazy.
They go
Like,
crazy. They get savage, and part of it as well is that as a man, like, bro, if you complain and say, "Oh, I have mental health issues," bro, like, they'll laugh at you, bro.
woman will laugh at
A
you.
woman will
Because the
laugh
thing
at
is,
you
woman needs you to help her
to
with
be
her
the
issues,
to
not
be the
with your
protector
issues.
and provider, bro.
Yes, like you don't see a woman like consoling a sad person. No, a woman expect you to be the one consoling her, isn't it? When she has issues.
Oh,
So
if
yeah,
no, if you want to, bro, if a woman wanted to console a man, like she'll have a child and console a baby, you know.
yeah, pretty much, isn't it?
But yeah, but that's the thing, like, men, they can't. They're shamed for complaining. They're shamed for being open and honest about their mental health issues, and that's why a lot of men suffer in silence, bro.
Yeah, pretty much. Because the thing is, like, we ask a woman who she's going to choose: a guy who suffers from mental illness and who need care, or an average a guy who earns 6 figures with a good looks and 6 foot tall or something like
Yeah,
that.
but
She's going to go with the other guy, isn't it?
but you
She's
wanna
not
hear,
going to choose a guy.
but
Who
you wanna
has
hear the
mental
reality of the world,
issues.
though. The reality of life, yeah, is that it goes back to the identity crisis thing, and no one,
And the thing is, it's a competitive world out there.
yeah, yeah,
If you're not striving to be your best, Like you're gonna start falling behind, and you're gonna go deeper into that mental issue, isn't there? Into
Yeah.
that depression hole.
It's like, remember I told you when I was 19 going out on a student loan budget,
Yeah,
I told you I used to feel depressed, and I used to think to myself like, I can't put myself out there to get a job or whatever because I've got anxiety, I feel depressed. But the reason why I had anxiety and felt depressed is because I didn't have money because I wasn't working. That's why. Not
yeah, pretty
It wasn't
much.
the other way
Yeah,
around, you know.
yeah, because you start doing your work and then you start having money in your pocket. That's when
You
you're gonna
feel
start feeling better
you
about
feel
yourself,
you feel
isn't it?
better about yourself, and the same
Yeah, that's
goes.
the thing, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like depression can be cured if you have £1 million in a bank account
Mm,
and you went to the gym and had the perfect physique body.
yeah,
And that way, respect will come naturally to you as well from women as well.
yeah.
And that way, you're living the high life, isn't it?
But when I'm not,
So that's what you should be trying to aim for, at least, isn't it?
and I'm not. We're not trying to say like we're not discounting people with legitimate mental health issues because there
No,
are.
no, this is like, yeah.
We're
I guess
talk,
there's a clinical issue and there's like social sort of issue, isn't it?
but there's not. We're not talking about the clinical issue. We're talking about. I don't know how to say it. People that feel that type of way, but they're not. But they can do something about it. You know what I'm trying to say? Basically, the message that we want to put out there is a positive message saying, don't be a victim of circumstances. You know?
Yeah, pretty much, isn't it?
But yeah, but that's the thing. Like, men, they can't. They're shamed for complaining. They're shamed for being open and honest about their mental health issues, and that's why a lot of men suffer in silence, bro.
Yeah, pretty much. Because the thing is, like, we ask a woman who she's going to choose. A guy who suffers from mental illness and who need care, or an average a guy who earns six figures with a good looks and 6 foot tall or something like
Yeah,
that.
but
She's going to go with the other guy, isn't it?
but you want
She's
to
not
hear.
going to choose a guy.
But
who
you want to
has
hear the
mental
reality of the world,
issues.
though. The reality of life, yeah, is that it goes back to the identity crisis thing, yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of people put on a fucking front and pretend to be, oh, I'm this person, I'm that person,
yeah,
oh, I'm happy all the time. Oh, that's all a fucking front. The reality is, a lot of people are fucked up, man, and are suffering,
yeah. In silence, isn't it?
suffering in silence, and no one.
And the thing is, it's a competitive world out there.
Yeah,
If you're not striving to be your best, then you're gonna start falling behind, and you're gonna go deeper into that mental issue, isn't there?
yeah. Like
Yeah.
be in control of your life, innit? And then I feel like a start would be to just go to the gym. That would help you a lot. You
Yeah,
know,
something simple. First start by investing in yourself.
invest in yourself, like get an education, learn something, learn a skill, learn a trade.
Yeah, like you learn something simple as like editing a video, maybe.
Yeah, yeah,
You naturally that's a skill and demand. People come up to you. You get a job, you're gonna build a nice little social network, and then you're gonna meet someone who you like, isn't it?
that's it, man.
Because when she sees that you have your shit in order, she will stay with you.
Yeah, and I feel
And
like,
that's how you build a genuine relationship.
Oh,
That's all it is all about at the end of the day, isn't it?
that's it, man. And so, like, what advice would you give people that say they're depressed or have anxiety? Just basically work on yourself.
It's all like, if it's not clinical, like a lack of certified like, depression,
Like
it's
certified
probably-
medical diagnosis, basically.
Yeah. Then it's all in your head. Like you're feeling depressed because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. That's all
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
If you're feeling depressed because you're fat, just get up, go to the gym, make a workout plan, improve your diet. If you're depressed because you have a bad social life, go out there, start talking to people, start doing some activities, and do some volunteering. You'll come across someone and build your social network.
Well, then,
Or if you're depressed, if you're broke, then start working on a skill or a knowledge, build it up, and eventually you get enough money that you're satisfied with having a quality
bro,
of
but
life.
I don't know if I told you this before, yeah, but back in 2017, 2018, after the sort of the crash, right, when I was in the crash, I had crippling social anxiety.
Yeah,
Like I couldn't speak to people. I was stuttering and I couldn't get my words out. I had like a feeling in my gut, fucking like I was being choked from the inside.
yeah.
Do you know what? Do you know what cured my social anxiety?
What?
Not fucking crying and moaning and shit. What cured it is that I put myself in a job where I'm constantly speaking to people like they're constantly in your face, and you just gotta fucking deal with it.
Yeah, face-to-face
Face to
interaction,
face
isn't it? And you
interaction,
can't
bro,
escape
and
it.
you can't escape it. So you gotta man up and deal with it.
Yeah, pretty much. And yeah, and with all types of characters as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the thing, like, if you have, like, social anxiety, like, you need to start slowly pushing the boundaries, isn't it?
Pushing the boundaries, bro.
Yeah, like, start with maybe getting a job that sort of forces you to, like, talk to people, isn't
Come
it?
out of your shell, yeah.
Show, isn't it? And then, yeah, eventually you build your way off it, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you definitely changed a lot ever since you started your job as well.
What a lot, what in a good way, in a bad way.
Yeah, in a good way, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess compared to when you were 19, I guess you would have never imagined yourself like starting a podcast.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Being so outspoken and stuff like that, isn't it? So
Yeah, man, because I learned, because especially the career I'm in now, yeah, you're gonna meet people that are gonna be, they're not, no matter, there's gonna be some people in life, yeah, they, no matter what you do, they're not gonna like you, bruv.
yeah, so you just need to learn to accept it.
Does it matter? No, it doesn't matter, because you know your own struggle in your own life, bruv. They don't know you, so fuck them. That's the way I see it, man.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, yeah, you have to have that mental strength to cut people off, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Or just to move past it, isn't it? Yep, he doesn't like me. He's never gonna like me. I'm just gonna carry on with my life.
It's his loss.
Like, yeah, I mean that's the strength you need to build.
And then, and you know what I said about the finances, yeah. If you haven't got your finances in order, stop chasing women. Stop being, before you chase women, you got to stop being broke and work on your finances.
Because you're not going to keep her around for too long, even if you get her. So yeah.
And it's the same with the sort of anxiety thing, yeah, mental health thing, bro. If you can't speak to normal people in the street, yeah, what you doing trying to chase women, bro?
Yeah, you better cancel the OnlyFans subscription and start building yourself up.
Bro, first learn how to,
yeah. You'll only ever be seeing a woman through a screen, and that's it.
Bro, there's people, bro, there's guys, yeah, like they complain that, oh, I haven't got confidence to speak to women, I haven't got the chat. Bro, you haven't got the chat to speak to people in general, bro.
That's true as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, I mean, it's probably a man's job to chase after the woman, isn't it? But at the end of the day, like, you have to be confident enough to put yourself out as well, isn't it?
That's it.
So if you build yourself up and you're confident in yourself, then you can face rejection head on, isn't it? And,
that's it, bro.
If she does reject you, that's her loss. And
that's her loss, bro.
You don't want to be in a position where you don't have your shit together and you're going asking a woman out. And when she rejects you, you're like falling apart, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's it, man. So
that's going to leave a bad taste in your mouth, and you're probably going to get trauma that you wouldn't want to sort of break out.
Yeah.
As well, isn't it?
So basically,
off the whole thing.
So basically, in summary, with this whole like men's mental health thing, basically work on yourself, put yourself in uncomfortable situations, try and change your life for the better. Remember, no condition is permanent. And if it's a serious clinical thing, like go and talk to someone and go see a specialist. You know.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If you want to be a real man, like focus on the key things, isn't it?
The key things.
Having good, have a good, like, develop your mental and spiritual strength. Develop your physical strength. That's going to build your confidence up as well.
Yeah.
Build your influence as well. Like that gives you confidence. And and just try to get more resources under your belt as well.
About mental health, yeah. The last important topic I want to speak about is family and provision.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, like, life is short. We're all gonna pass on. The only real things we're gonna leave behind in this earth are our children, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And then I just feel like if we want to progress in society, we've got to instill values into our children and raise them to be competent and respectful men and women.
Yeah, that's your job as a father, man, as well, isn't it?
That's your job as a father. And that's why, like, in this society, the narrative, it messes up the family unit, you know?
Yeah, pretty much, like we sort of mentioned as well throughout this discussion, isn't it?
Yeah, and I just want to say the importance of having a male role model in the household. Like, a woman can't raise a man on her own, you know?
Yeah.
You need the woman to be like the nurturer, and the father to be the disciplinarian, and then that's how you raise a balanced baby, you got a balanced child. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty much. Because when there's no balance, like things starts to go wrong. Isn't it?
Chaos. It becomes chaos, bro.
Chaos, isn't it? And you can see it in society, like even in London, like all the stabbings, they're all coming from dysfunctional families, man.
Yeah, and yeah, these people causing chaos in the streets. Yeah, they live chaotic lives at home. You know.
Yeah, pretty much, and that stems to the streets as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
That all leaves out their homes. So yeah.
Because remember what I said about your brain, like an antenna, like
Yeah.
the signal you receive, the signal you put out. You know, input,
Yeah.
output.
Yeah, like if you look at all those posh areas, like you would call them, like you wouldn't see all this sort of behaviours, is it?
Yeah, man. It's like
Yeah, like areas with like good family units. There's
Bro.
no crime there.
Yeah,
Because
man,
the
it's-
thing is, the crime starts from home, isn't it?
it's
Starts
funny,
from
like the
upbringing.
like the era that I moved to, like my sixth form, like 95% of people came from a 2-parent household,
Yeah.
and
So
bro,
that's why you probably wouldn't see crime in your area.
compare that to compare that to our secondary school.
Oh yeah, that's a different ballgame altogether, isn't it?
Yeah, whole different ball game.
Yeah.
And look at the statistics, bro. Like how many people in our year group went to prison?
Oh, probably half, more than half. Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah.
It's like crazy.
Yeah, man. So that's why, obviously, a family unit is very important. Having a father figure is very important. And
because they can't, you can like women chasing careers and things like that. It's no point chasing your careers because you're not going to take your career into heaven.
yeah,
So like you're going to leave that behind on earth.
yeah,
And any money that you saved up from that, if you don't have any good descendants, like to make good use of the wealth that you built up, it's all going to get squandered away anyways.
that's it. Man.
So what's the point of you like working so hard on your career?
Yeah.
It's not going to have any.
But it's
value?
like if you're gonna have a son, right?
Yeah.
Who's gonna show him a better example of how to be a man? Your wife or you? Who is the man?
It's going to be me, isn't it? I'm going to tell him the experience I went through and tell him what mistakes not to make
Yeah.
and what he should be doing that I never got the chance to do, isn't it?
Yeah,
that
man.
my parents got.
It's like when you have the daughter, yeah. Who's gonna show your daughter how to be a woman? You, who's a man, or your wife, who's a woman?
That's going to be my wife, isn't it?
Yeah.
I have no idea how it is to live like a woman, isn't it?
That's
Like,
it.
we can only make observations, but in the end, we never lived as a woman, so we can't really.
Exactly,
So-
bro. Exactly. No, we haven't lived like women, so we can only speak from men's perspective and offer value to other men. You know.
Yeah, pretty much.
So all of this makes me lead on to my next sort of point, which is the 70-year rule.
Yeah.
I've told you about this a few times, yeah. But it basically there's an old poem which is made by some philosopher. I forgot the name right now, but it's called "Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times." And this poem, yeah, is so relevant to today's day and age, today's generation. It's very relevant, bro.
Yeah, pretty much, isn't it? Because let's look at the World War II.
World War II. Hard
Back then,
times.
Things were very hard, challenging, and and tough men sort of were born from that. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
look
Trying
back.
to make the world good again.
Bro, look at the World War II, yeah. Bro, the fucking world was at war, bro. Like the men
Yeah.
were fighting in the army against the opposition. The women were at home working and taking care of the kids.
Yeah,
But they didn't have time. Trying to say is that the World War II generation, people, men and women, they didn't have time to be in conflict with each other. Or look at keeping up with the Joneses. Look at what they're doing on Instagram. Look at what they're doing on here, there, the other. No, like they had to stick together.
the hard times they had to join together to sort of work through them. Isn't
So
it?
like those hard
They-
times, they created
They
strong
didn't have time
people.
for all this petty stuff. isn't
Yeah,
it?
they
So,
didn't have
yeah.
time for all that bullshit we're facing now. Or who's got a Lambo, who's got a Bugatti. No, that shit didn't matter because you could fucking die, you know?
Yeah,
You could lose your life.
If you didn't have your shit together, you wouldn't have food on the table.
Yeah.
You'd be starving to death. isn't it?
Yeah. So those hard times in the World War II generation, they created strong men and strong women. And then
Yeah.
and then those strong men and strong women, they created good times. And then look at like the baby boomers, like our parents' generation, born in the 50s and 60s. They grew up
Yeah.
in some of the best times. Like there was less knife crime, there was less crime in general.
True, yeah. Like a family lifestyle was good. Like you could get a good pay like the house to like job or like ratio was quite good as well. So you could easily get on the housing ladder and things like that.
Yeah,
So yeah, and plus the dating game was quite easier back
quite
then as
easier,
well.
more simple, like, and
More
so
simple. No huge competitions. Like
yeah,
society was still like
yeah, man.
wasn't spoiled, isn't it?
It
So
wasn't
yeah,
spoiled, bro. But you see the baby boomers though, like they were living in good times, and
yeah,
they were loving it. But those good
yeah,
times, they made them soft. Like no, there's no
yeah,
adversity, there's no challenges. So those
yeah.
good times created weak men. And then think about it, like why is it that all the divorces and all cheating and shit? It started with our parents. It didn't start with our grandparents.
Yeah, pretty much, isn't it? So yeah, because the things were too complacent. They had the opportunity to take risks, isn't it?
Yeah,
Stupid risks like that, isn't it?
yeah. So those good times created weak people, weak men, weak women, and then because of those people, where
This is the situation we're in
this
right
is the
now, isn't it?
situation we're in now. We're in hard times,
It,
bruv.
yeah, incompetent because of all those incompetent people. Like cost of living has gone up, made bad decision on relying like using gas and oil from Russia and things like that.
Yeah.
It's like just a series of bad decisions made when
Or
the
like
times were
where
good, isn't it?
we're all locked inside because of a bug and no one's questioning the narrative,
Yeah,
and then it's deeper than that, bruv. Even like if someone gets stabbed in the street, bruv, they won't. No one comes to your rescue, sort of thing, man. They'll leave you for
yeah.
dead.
That's the thing. Like you see, like videos like women getting molested like in broad daylight,
Yeah.
like in a busy street, and no one's going to step
No one
into
does
that. But
anything, bro.
that wouldn't have flown by back in the days.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
we're literally living in hard times. Look at what's happening in Ukraine right now as well. Like
yeah,
I've got a feeling that in the next 20, 30 years there's going to be another big war, and then the cycle will repeat itself as it does every 70 years. So we're living in hard times. Those hard times we're living in now are going to create strong men and women.
men. Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. And we're already starting to see those effects, isn't it?
Yeah,
But I guess the first starting point is we're going to be men in Ukraine.
yeah,
They're already changing their mentality now, isn't it? They're going to toughen up and things like that
yeah, yeah.
after going through all these hardships, isn't it?
Mm.
So yeah, they're going to see what life really is like, isn't it? There's no all this superficial dating business and stuff
Yeah,
like
all that shit went out the window,
They
bro.
see life and death, isn't it?
Yeah,
Survival.
literally life and death. Yeah, yeah. And yeah, so that's just a poem. Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men create hard times.
Yeah, and yes, they're going to keep on repeating
It's
the
going
cycle.
every 70 years because like it just so like even before the World War II generation, it was every 70 years. Even like like the Roman Empire.
Yeah,
The reason the Roman Empire fell was because good times created weak men, and then it fell apart, bro. And then the barbarians were at the gate, and they took the Roman Empire down. You know,
yeah. I think that's the same thing throughout the whole of mankind's
the whole of history. Yeah, yeah.
That's why there's nothing that lasted forever.
Nothing lasted forever. That's why.
Every empire falls down. The British Empire, the Roman Empire, it doesn't last forever.
So
Because that's the thing. Once you conquered something, you get complacent.
hmm
You lose your touch. Then someone else who's facing hard times, they turn into strong people and they overthrow you.
they overthrow you. Yeah. So
And the cycle just repeats
it keeps
itself.
repeating itself, and that's just how it is, you know. So
Yeah.
and the moral, like the lesson I want to teach from this is that like life is fucking hard and shit and gloomy. You get negative inputs online, on the TV, but what you got to do is you got to learn to navigate it and then be the best person you can be. You know.
Yeah, not only just social media and TVs, even in real life,
Real life.
You come face to face with negative people. Man.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be able to walk past it, take it on you, and just carry it with you, isn't it?
Yeah. Man.
Like, don't let it like throw you down, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
You
it,
got to
man.
learn to get up and walk again, isn't it?
Get up
So,
and
yeah.
walk again, like get up and carry. It's like that saying, like I fell down 7 times, I got up 8.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's just how it
yeah.
goes, man. That's just how it goes. So, like, the conclusion I want to make is that basically what we just said, like, life is fucking difficult. Life is hard. It's shit. It's overly competitive. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, it's just difficult in general for men and women. But this topic we're talking about men, right? Just
Yeah.
in general. And so, how do you navigate a world like this? Obviously, how you navigate it is that you get power, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, like,
Not only power, like you work on yourself, isn't it? I mean,
yeah,
which is basically getting
that's how
power,
you get
isn't it?
power by working yourself, and there's different sections of it. Like, there's
Yeah,
finance.
there's financial like resources and
Yeah,
things
are
like
you?
that.
So, what? Expand on that. Financial. What are you? How are you saving? How are you making money? Sort of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. So like you have to look at your options. I mean, the best is like if you go and watch, listen to our financial freedom podcast. But
Mm.
just to summarize, like we look at your situations, look at your financial background.
Mm.
Like most of you probably won't be coming from a wealthy family, so you gotta make sure you get your education in order.
Mm-hmm.
Like go out there in the job market, try to get the best job you can, sell yourself, and yeah, make sure
Hey,
you're
by the
saving
way,
money.
don't sell yourself literally.
Yeah, not so it's not literally.
Mm.
But yeah, try to get a good job and things like that, and yeah,
Mm.
don't waste your money on superficial things, isn't it?
That's it. And what
Like,
about the saving part? The saving part.
yeah, in regards to saving, yeah, just yeah, I mean, it just comes down to like not wasting your money, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Think about the things you buy, make sure you're actually going to use them.
Yeah.
Don't fall for cheap marketing and stuff like that.
And don't stop
For
believing in
example, like
shortcuts.
yeah, don't believe in shortcuts as well. Yeah, don't simply buy an iPhone every year. You're just wasting your money because at the end of the day, a phone is a phone, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just use it for people. Anything else extra on the phone is just going to be a detriment to your
Yeah.
earnings.
And then
So you don't spend $1,000 on a phone when you can spend like 500 quid and save the other 500 quid.
yeah, and
They can
also
spend to invest in
and
yourself.
also stop thinking that success happens overnight. Like there's a saying.
Yeah,
There's a saying which says it took me 10 years to be an overnight success.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. Success doesn't happen for normal people.
Yeah.
You have to work very hard to get there.
That's why, like, with this podcast, by example, for example, like, there's fucking podcasts that have started after me that have blown up, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not letting that demotivate me. I'm just enjoying the process. Like this conversation, like I'm having fun with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and for me and for you as well, it's beneficial as well, isn't it?
It's beneficial.
Sometimes, like, it's better to say these things out loud so you sort of remind them yourself.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when you're doing your day-to-day stuff, like, you sort of forget these
You
things.
forget these things. Yeah.
Things, and sometimes I sort of listen to this podcast myself, isn't it, to sort of remind myself of what sort of values you're working with.
Which one do you see yourself coming back to the most? Right.
I mean, I have to be biased here and say my video, isn't it?
I know, but which
Especially when
one
it
out
comes
of financial freedom, the job one, and the success one? Which one?
I'll say the success one, isn't
The
it?
success one. Yeah.
Because that's the one I'm working towards, isn't it? Getting to the level 3 stage, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, for me that's the important, but that's my goal. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, to get to the level 3 stage and live a comfortable and good quality of life.
Yeah, and level 3 basically means like your assets outweigh your liabilities, you're living debt free, and you're living a comfortable life, right?
Lifestyle, and you got passive income.
You got
coming
passive
in,
income,
Yeah.
which means that you're working towards investing. So when you watch all these YouTube videos, don't think that you invest and then fucking get there. Nah, you work your fucking job in Starbucks, you work your manual labor job, you work up the ladder, you save for many years, and then you invest. There's no shortcuts in this shit, you know.
That's the thing that no one ever says, is
Yeah.
like you don't just say, "Oh, I woke up today and I'm going to start investing in something."
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work like that. First thing you have to do is first invest in yourself.
Mhm.
Make sure you got a house that you live in, so that you're not in fucking debt.
Yeah.
and yeah, sort of pay up all your debts and bills.
Mm.
Get your shit together and finances in order. And when you're in a comfortable sort of state where you can like afford to take risks, that's when you start doing investment.
That's
By the
it.
time you get to that stage, you also like have all the skills and capability to pull your investment off as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's the thing, like people grow over time. By the time you grow to a state where you're comfortable in taking the risk, probably have the skills and knowledge that you require to pull off your investment.
That's it, man. So that's
I
financial.
think we definitely went on like through some examples, isn't it, on that video? So,
That's
yeah,
it. So
check it out.
go back to financial freedom part 2, starting from scratch. Financial freedom part 3 in the grind, which talks about jobs and interviews, how to excel in that. and
Yeah.
then what does success really mean, which it puts things into perspective when it comes to success and like metrics, basically.
Yeah,
Your
because I
metrics.
think it's quite closely related as
It's
well.
all it's
Because
all it all intertwines, basically.
yeah, because
Yeah,
if you want to be a real man at the end of the day, you'll need some successes there. You
yeah,
can't
yeah,
be a man if you're not successful in something.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
So then after financial power, there's physical power, which
yeah,
means like, are you happy? Are you happy with the person you see in the mirror? Are you in shape? Do you feel healthy? Do you feel energetic? Are you getting enough sleep? You know?
yeah. And that's the thing. This is not about like having six packs and a perfect body. I mean, it's good to have, but I think the main point is being comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah, being
And it's
comfortable.
just like it's having the self confidence. You should be like comfortable, like walking up to a woman and saying, "Yep, do you want to go out with me?" and that sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like not feeling like embarrassed. Oh, I look obese today. I don't want to go ask because I know she's going to reject me.
yeah, that's it,
It's
man.
like you don't have to. You have to be like a fitness guru or something like that.
Mm.
You just have to have like enough sort of physical, like enough. You're physically built enough that gives you confidence
Hmm.
to do go out of your ways and then push
Yeah,
boundaries. Because
that's
that's the
it.
thing, like because people like who feel like they're obese or they're out of shape, those people tend to have lack confidence,
That's it,
which is
man.
like the main problem, isn't it?
Main
Because
problem.
that's the thing, like if you look at our society, like so there's some guys out there who are not in the best of shapes, but they have like amazing girlfriends, isn't it?
That's it.
That's not because they're out of shape and stuff like that. That's because they have confidence.
Because
That's what having good physical body is about.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like for your own health conscious, like so you want to live a long life without sort of
Bro, it's
this
like
health issue.
look
And it's
at
like building confidence, isn't it? That's what
exactly.
it's
And
about.
look at back in school, secondary school. Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously, no, we didn't go to a fucking prep school. But what guys were the most confident? Like what guys were sleeping with the most girls and shit? Like the people that had the body, you know, the people
yeah, yeah.
that were in good physical shape, you
Yeah,
know.
but the thing is that gives them confidence, isn't it?
Yeah, that gives them the
Because
confidence to
and
do
not
that.
only that, it's a sign. Isn't it? People,
Yeah,
women see that you're like in a good shape.
yeah,
Like they know that you work hard and you commit and stuff like that, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I guess yeah, it all comes down to confidence, signaling, theory, and stuff like that,
Yeah,
isn't it?
so just to increase your physical power,
Yeah,
obviously straight go to the gym.
because I guess it
Yeah,
sort of links to your mental power as well. Because if you have a
yeah.
strong
It all
body,
intertwines, isn't it? Yeah,
yeah, you're gonna have a strong mind as well.
yeah.
And that's naturally gonna give you
And they say
confidence,
like
isn't it?
the body is the mind. So like let's say
Like say if someone's gonna rob someone, like are they gonna rob someone who's like six? No, let's put height out of the equation. Say if someone who's like well built or someone who's like skinny and scrawny.
yeah,
They're gonna go for this. They're gonna attack the skinny guy, isn't it?
yeah. So how do you
So
build
that's
physical power though? How do you build it?
so yes. Just go to gym, isn't it? Have your fitness plan in place.
Yeah, have a nutrition
Get good,
plan.
yeah, nutrition plan. Get your diet in order. Get
Yeah,
good sleep. And yeah, not only that, that's going to build wonders for your mind as
for
well,
your
isn't
mind
it?
as well.
But yeah, because once you have like good sleep, good fitness, your body is going to start performing at a higher level, isn't it?
Yeah, so like
And
that's it.
because the thing is, like most of the power is to, like goes to your mind, isn't it?
Goes to your
And
mind. Yeah,
most of what you consume, 10% of it goes to your mind and how it runs.
that's it.
So when your diet and stuff improves and you gain better health, your mind's going to improve. You're going to start coming up with better ideas and
Yeah,
think
man.
better as
So
well.
that's why we
You're
spoke.
more likely to be successful that way as well.
That's it, man. So
And your
like.
social skills will improve
So that's
as
it.
well.
Just there, like financial power, physical power, now mental power. Like all of these
Yeah,
things intertwine. Are you educated? Are you, you know what I mean? Do you know what you're talking about as well? Do you feel right in
yeah,
your mind? And yeah, like you said, you get your physical up, you get your finances up, then your mental becomes even better. You know.
yeah. So it all sort of links up, isn't it?
And then there's social power as well, right? Which basically
Yeah,
means like, you know, when I told you like I had like anxiety, lack of confidence, right?
yeah,
That's because of the identity crisis. I was identifying as an introvert,
yeah,
but I was speaking to, you know, that YouTuber I chat to now and again. You know, King Rich is the guy that I send you clips of.
yeah.
Yeah, he basically said to me one time on the phone. He said like, this whole introvert thing, you got to rip it out and chuck it in the bin. Why would you want to identify with something that takes your power away?
Yeah, that's true. Because at the end of the day, none of that matters. Like, at the end of the day, Like, you have to play on both sides, whether it's introvert or extrovert. Like, you have to speak to other people, and there's times you have to, like, sit there and think for yourself as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to be successful.
Yeah.
I think that's what the theory is, isn't it? Like, extroverts are people who just do all the talking, not a lot of thinking.
Yeah.
Introverts are people who don't talk, but they think.
Yeah, you need a balance, right? But why I say social power is that
you might lean towards one way, like naturally, but at the end of the day, you have to break out that mold, isn't it? Because that's your choice, isn't it? Because nothing is stopping an introvert from going out there and putting themselves out.
Yeah.
Same with an extrovert, nothing's stopping them from staying indoors and like reflecting on themselves.
That's why social power is the awareness of knowing when to talk and how to talk, and when to keep your mouth shut as well.
Because when you think of it in the grand scheme of things, they're just concepts.
Yeah.
And once you understand those concepts, you can overcome them as well. And in the end, it's just a mental.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, social power doesn't just mean talk shit. Yeah, it means know when to listen and keep your mouth shut as well.
Mouth shut. Yeah, pretty much.
Know how to read a room. Yeah.
Yeah, don't just talk for the sake of talking. Talking when it is relevant to do so, and thinking about what you're going to do.
Bro, it's like there's certain people that we know. Yeah, they got no social awareness, bro.
It is pretty much. They do irrelevant things at the wrong times, isn't it?
Yeah,
which causes problems. Which causes to themselves
and other people. So.
Yeah.
Social power, know how to talk to people, put yourself out there, put yourself in uncomfortable situations, know how to read a room. And the only way to attain that is by the only way to attain all of them is to feel comfortable being uncomfortable, and that's it.
You know? Yeah, pretty much. And only final piece of advice would be don't be a simp.
And don't be a simp.
just have some self-control.
Yeah. And the last thing I want to say is that have spiritual power as well, like start believing in your faith, research your history. You know, I have faith in God. Basically put your faith into a higher power.
Yeah,
that's how you survive through chaos.
I mean, for me, like I'm not that big on spirituality, but what's important is having like good moral standings.
Yeah.
The minute you lose your moral standings, you're going to lose yourself as a person.
And that's why we say in hard times as well, we're living with no morals and values.
Yeah, I think that's where sort of religion plays a part. Religion helps you keep a good moral compass. The thing is, the minute you lose your moral compass, you're going to start making decisions that aren't going to be beneficial to you.
That's
basically like sleeping with another man's wife and shit like that, isn't it?
Yeah,
that stuff is just going to bring bad karma back to you, isn't it? People are going to come attack you and stuff like that. You're just going to be creating enemies for no reason.
Bro, like, imagine
aiming to create more friends.
Bro, like, imagine if you and your family stuck together and respected each other and went to church every Sunday. Bro, what's the likelihood of you going out and stabbing someone?
Zero, isn't it?
Zero, yeah.
So,
yeah. That's
one of the good benefits of being spiritual, isn't it?
Yeah, and another thing as well, and that's with mental health as well. Another when you're feeling depressed as well, like if you're praying to God every night, it will help you as well.
Yeah, I definitely heard about it. That people go to retreats and stuff like that. It doesn't matter what religion you are. Whatever religion you believe in, as long as it helps you, like do it, isn't it?
That's what matters.
Spirituality is not bad because in the end of the day, it's like faith, isn't it? And faith and commitment are the same thing. Like going to church every Sunday is basically like going to the gym.
It's like it's a spiritual gym, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like it's basically soft
spiritual workout, bro.
Yeah, it's like it's sort of working out yourself, isn't it?
Working out your spirit,
yourself up, isn't it? Like you're rethinking the way you do things and stuff like that. So
yeah. It's like going to work as a financial workout, going to the gym as a physical workout.
It's a workout, yeah.
Like reading a book as a mental workout. Everything is a workout, yeah.
Everything is like builds you up as a person, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
guys, get power, and that's a wrap, man. Like, thank you for coming on.
It's great to be back on the show. Guys, be a real man.
Yeah, man, I enjoyed this one, Rev.
Yeah.
All right, people, peace out and stay tuned. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace out.